About half of the College of the Desert's 10,400 students receive financial aid. That means some 5,000 of us depend on aid, not just for tuition, but for books and supplies needed to function effectively in class. However, the school's payment schedule makes it tough for many disadvantaged students to keep up. In some cases, students are dropped from class when they miss assignments because they can't afford the materials needed to do the work.
Actually, our disbursements are within the first 7 days of the semester. The first disbursement for Pell Grant, loans usually follows afterwards. A lot of the details you'll find are on our website.
Okay.
Yeah. Generally, it's first 7 days for Pell Grant, and then it's on a rolling basis after that.
Oh. If you have money, preparing for class is as simple as this. However, those who receive financial aid often get those funds late, which poses tremendous challenges.
Well, girls in my class, my bookkeeping class, the book was $200. There's girls crying because they can't afford the book because they don't have their financial aid. One was losing her place. She said no, she didn't know what to do. I rented a book, but did not come with the CD. So, and I went to go check out the CD. It cost another $80. That's like $160 to $180 altogether. And everywhere I looked, everybody was trying to figure out how to get disc. So pretty much you're screwed.
I didn't end up getting any financial aid till the middle of the semester, and as far as buying books and stuff like that, it was no help at all.
Financial aid, it helps you out in the long run, but when you really need it, when it's most important, like the first day of class and you need to have your books, it doesn't help. I didn't have my books on the first day of class, or the first week of class I didn't have no books, and I had to sit in the library and do all my work. Well, the library only lets you check out their books for 2 hours, which makes that really hard, and I don't have no transportation to come back and recheck it out, so it just makes it very stressful, and it makes going to school very difficult.
Do you get financial aid?
Yeah, but I haven't got mine yet.
Really? It's kind of late in the semester. When do you get it?
I probably ain't gonna get it.
How much? Do you know how much that book is?
This book is $100.
Ooh.
And renting it online, it said $25. But I wouldn't have had it in time still, so I didn't do it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Can you think of a better way? You know, instead of,
making copies?
No, I mean, if you were the president of the university, how would you handle this situation?
Maybe make books more cheaper for people. I mean, I know they have the used books, but still those are expensive too. So for us who don't get financial aid, we just gotta do the best we can.
What time in the semester did you get your financial aid?
I received a portion maybe a month after school started, a month into the semester.
Okay.
And I received another one about 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Well, how did you function during that first month?
How did I function?
Yeah.
It was hard. I was mostly just making copies to get by with the classes, with the work that I needed.
Okay. How did your teachers know what situation you was in?
They were aware of it. They said not to worry about it. We weren't going to get to the book for at least 2 or 3 weeks into the semester.
Finding books is difficult, but getting software and equipment while you wait for that aid check raises the bar waist high.
The hardest class, though, to complete without a book was, because I'm in the digital design and production, was software. That was very tricky because you really need to have the book so you can learn the tools and how to do it. And I was in Illustrator, and I just put in a lot of time, and I had like a CS2 instead of a CS5, and I was able to get it and pass the class.
RAP can move at her own pace in most digital design and production classes. Most instructors in the major allow students to enroll, then get the grade they earn at the end of the semester. Some do not. This is Tom Gilman's office. He was teaching Dreamweaver about a year ago online when I first experienced the disconnect between financial aid's payment schedule and teachers dropping students from class. I was one of them. After 3 times trying to get into class, I finally got in online. But I didn't have my books and I didn't have my software, so I fell behind. And then I learned about making copies, and so that was cool. I started making copies and I got caught up. But the thing about the software was that they had fixed it so that online students couldn't use the lab, so I'm stuck with the software now. So I went and I got a 30-day free trial. And by that time, the financial aid came, so I ordered my software online. By the time it got there, the free trial ended. The software got there, I missed one lesson in that gap, and I was cut from the class.
Advanced units are all...
So now I'm wondering, wasn't this question asked and answered in 1957 by Brown v. Board? And am I, or are we, being denied access to education simply because we receive financial aid? There are a number of classes where books and materials are needed to do the work. With that in mind, why does COD delay payments and then drop students who fall behind? Taken together, the two make succeeding at school a monumental task. Okay, so they call it a census drop.
It's a census drop, and the state requires instructors to clear, they call it clearing their rolls or clearing their attendance sheets of students who have not attended class. And so they're required to submit a drop because they've not attended, and that's because the state only funds for those students who are there after that, who have clearly been participating in the class, and attendance is part of participation. So if they're not there, they're required to drop them. Otherwise, the state is funding the college for a person who's not there.
So do you have documented benefits to doing it that way? Are there documented benefits to,
Well, obviously to the student, there's not going to be money owing back to the federal government for funds that have to be returned. The schools have less collection issues. So there's obviously a direct correlation to students receiving financial aid and withdrawing from classes, so that's certainly a consideration.
Oh, okay. That's why some students defend the school's disbursement policies.
Colleges where they do give it to you all at once, and I've dropped my classes and had to pay it all back. And I didn't have the money to pay it all back, and so I ended up having to get on a payment plan and couldn't get financial aid for a while. So I think it's only fair that they break it up like that to make sure you stay in the classes.
Chris speaks for those who lose their way and are protected by the status quo. Nevertheless, COD is looking at ways to make the two opposite ends meet.
Regulatory change about students having to get their Pell Grants within the first 7 days of classes. And the rationale for that is that students can purchase books and supplies. I'm looking to see if we can't move that out to the first day of classes. Not just within the first 7 days, which is the law, but within the first day of class, right? So that's one thing I'm looking at. Another thing that I'm exploring with other departments and student services, as well as the business office, is whether or not we can implement some kind of bookstore voucher system where students can get books basically using their financial aid before their funds are dispersed to them. And then the books and supplies are backed out of that. I'm not sure that's going to work with the college because of the current systems we have in place.
In addition to getting aid to students faster, COD is improving its data gathering methods. This way, the school will know how many dolphins it's catching in the tuna net.
These are the reasons why the student drops. And one is economic issues, conflicts with work schedule, family obligations, transportation issues, medical reasons, fear of failing a course, changed major or no longer needed to graduate, difficulty understanding the course material, and any other reasons. But on the other, I don't think there's a space for explaining. That would have been an ideal place to say the student dropped the class because he or she didn't have the textbook on time.